Hello, my name is Paulina from RedTrack, and today we are going to talk about campaign optimization, push campaign optimization. And there is no better person to talk about that than Anastasia, the Chief Commercial Officer at RichAds. Please, if you'd like to introduce yourself or say hi to our audience, and we'll see.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me today. My name is Anastasia. I work for RichAds. And I think I know a lot about optimization because I have been working as account manager for several years. So I have this experience in my pocket. So yeah, I think I can talk a lot about the optimization process.
Perfect. So today we're going to learn all the tips and tricks and little details of push campaign optimization in 2023. And we're going to also pay attention to how you can do that with use of the tracker and what's the dynamic between the ad network and the tracker look like when you try to optimize your campaigns. So I think it's best if we start with understanding why affiliate marketer has to choose push campaigns in the first place. What's the drill with the push campaigns in general, and maybe what kind of verticals, what kind of niches you do recommend to use push campaigns for.
Okay, so to start with the push campaigns. Of course, there are some benefits and there are some disadvantages. It comes almost to everything in this life. So with push campaigns, among the advantages that they have is their huge quantity of traffic that you can get with push ads, and also the cost of this type of traffic. So it's really cheap. It's rather cheaper than, almost any other format that is out there, and with a good use of your hands, with optimization, with the strategies, you can really have a great result with a really low cost. And as I said, the amount of the traffic is huge, and you can get this traffic almost in every country, so there is no limitations in that. And when we're talking about the verticals, there is some differences between push and other formats. So for example, if you're going to promote your local coffee shop or your small business, then push ads is definitely not something that you are going to use, because with push ads, you need to have such kind of offer that is suitable for almost everyone. So something that a huge quantity of people enjoys. For example, the best verticals with push right now are gambling, betting, because as a human beings, we all like to gamble, Of course, there are some antivirus, because almost everyone has if you are living in our age, you have your laptop or other devices, so you need some kind of antiviruses or cleaners or other stuff that will help you to use your device. Also crypto, that crypto right now is a huge additional business out there, and many people are interested in it, and so the crypto is also gaining the interest. And of course there is a dating, so because almost everyone at some point has used a dating site in their life, so there is also another huge vertical for push advertising. So when you're choosing the offer for the push, you need to remember that it should be suitable both for women and for men, because there is no such technologies where you can target specifically some kind of sex or age. So it should be suitable for everyone. And this is basically the number one thing that you need to remember. And of course, there are some more details. For example, if you are going to gambling offers and you want to advertise for Latin America, you should remember that there should be several payment methods that are used in these countries. Otherwise, you will not have your conversion. So there is also more details on that, but the number one thing that you should remember that it should be something really general that everyone enjoys, and not something really limited for example, only for some district in your city. This is not how the push works, and you will not get results with such kind of offers.
All right. So from what I understand, considering that how cheap push campaigns are and how universal the offer or the campaign you want to run should be, probably optimization is one of the most crucial parts to actually make money out of push campaigns and to make sure that you will have a flourishing business. But when is that moment that you should start optimizing your campaign? When do you understand that this campaign, is worth even optimization, or this campaign is not important at all and it's not going to bring you results? What are the things that you look for? Maybe some signs that campaign is successful and it can bring you the fruits, and how and where would you like to start optimizing it?
So the optimization process is crucial for every single traffic source that you are using, and for push, of course, it's really important as well, because there are large quantity of traffic, and not all the traffic is suitable for your specific offer or for the country that you are going for. So you need to look for these sources that are bringing you the highest results and bid more on them and less on the sources that are not bringing you the results. So first of all, choose the right offer, as I said before, because well, we have some clients that are coming with really, really small local businesses. And of course, at the first sign, you can see that the campaign is not going to be successful because it's just not the format for such kind of advertising. After you have chosen the right offer for you and you know that it's working for such ad format, you're basically launching your campaign. So what you need to do is to have several creatives. We recommend to start with at least 5 creatives, 5 to 10 creatives, so you know which way is working the best for your audience. Basically, you're just launching the campaign and you're looking for the creative that has a higher CDR rate. So you know which way is the best way for the audience that you are looking for, because CTR is really important for push campaigns, and it always drops at some point because basically the creatives just got bored because everyone have saw them and they are not really interested. So you constantly need to find a way to make your campaign stand from other campaigns and to still be attractive to the user, because this is what you're targeting. And you launch your campaign with 5 to 10 creatives. You see, you are making such an A/B test on which way is the best for you. And after you launch your campaign, we always advise to have a tracker, because basically with the tracker, you can see the whole statistics, and this is how you can optimize. If you don't have the tracker, you don't have the statistics, you don't know which source is working for you. And this is really important with push. You need to look for these sources that are bringing you the result. And you have your tracker, you check that everything is working correctly, and then you just launch your campaign. We have several advertiser managers that can help you with this. But basically what I recommend to do is at the first, you need to have your campaign as wide as it's possible. So don't go with any like strict targeting. Don't target just one source, because basically at first you need to find what is working for you, and then you start cutting it. It's easier to cut at the beginning than just look for all the sources throughout the month. And you launch your campaign with the wide variety of sources, all the targets that you are allowed to use for the specific offer. And basically what you need to do is to wait for 10 to 20 conversions to start the optimization process. Of course, it depends on the cost of the conversion that you're looking for, but in general, it's like 10 to 20 conversions. This is like enough information after which you can start optimization. What I see from my experience, usually if you're launching today in the morning, then tomorrow in the morning, you can start the optimization process. I wouldn't recommend to optimize like twice or like several times per day, because well, basically you're targeting some specific country, and in this country there is a morning, there is a day, there is an afternoon, and people are busy. They are converting more in the morning and in the afternoon than during the day when they are working. So you need to have like enough information to understand how it's working. Usually it takes like up to a day. And if, for example, after this day, you don't see any of the conversions, first thing you need to check is whether or not your tracker is working correctly, because sometimes this is the case when you have the conversion, but you set up your tracker wrong, so they are not passing to the side of to us, so you don't see them actually in your account. And if you are sure that tracker is set correctly, then you can try the other way. You can go to your account manager and you can ask for the whitelist. Maybe you need to like lower this audience. So, you know, for example, you have a gambling offer and you come to your account manager and you say, okay, do you have a good whitelist for gambling? And they provide you with this whitelist. They check if your creatives are suitable because, again, account managers, they have lots of experience. They see this campaign each day, so they have an idea of what is working and what is not. And you try, for example, with the whitelist and maybe new creatives. And if you see that even after this, your campaign has brought you any of the conversions, then it's time to change the offer. But what we see happens sometimes is people who are, for example, looking for the conversion cost of $10 and they spend like $5. They don't see any of the conversion. They stop the campaign and they just assume that this campaign is not like worthy of the trying. This is not the case. You need to spend at least like 10 to 20 conversion costs. So in the case where you have your conversion as at $10, you need to spend at least 100 to understand whether or not it's worthy trying. So this is like basic rules for the optimization, I could say.
That's quite interesting, especially the last point about that you should at least get 10 conversion costs before you start optimization.
People react differently depending on their like experience. Some people are really new in this and they don't really have like a huge budget. They just starting with this affiliate work, so they have different understanding on how theirs like should work, but it's not the case.
Yeah. So from what I understand, the tracker is a very important part of this equation to make it all work, because a tracker like RedTrack sends all the data back to the ad network and you can make the further assumptions about the performance of your campaigns. What are the things that you would recommend from your side to look out in the tracker of the client's choice to make sure that the tracker will work smoothly, that all the conversions are going to be passed, and you will be able to do all the analytics and optimizations that you need for the campaign?
Again, we have lots of clients who are coming from different traffic sources. They have different paths, and lots of them are coming with Google Analytics, and they say that they will use this tool to optimize the campaign. But the thing is, Google Analytics thinks that the click is something completely different from what is actually with push advertising. So if you are using this tool, okay, it is suitable for several traffic sources, but it's not suitable for push or pops or in-page. It's completely, it has a different logic in it, and you will not just see any of the results, and you will assume that the campaign is not worthy trying, and it's not the case. So when you come as an advertiser, we recommend you several trackers that we know are working well with our type of traffic, with the type of traffic that we provide. They're actually like, I would say, universal. So it's not something, because I think that people assume that we have some kind of a deal with the trackers. And this is not the case, because you can go to any other ad network that provides push and they will advise you on same trackers that we do. It's just the amount of trackers that are suitable is not that huge, and we know that some of them are not working correctly. So we provide with the best that we know. So there is nothing going in between. There is no business deals between the trackers and the networks. And yeah, it's just the recommendation that we have. So when you set up the tracker, we have this tool that can help you to check whether or not it's set it correctly. Basically, you're sending the test conversion, and if it comes to our side, then everything is correct. It should come to tracker, it should come to our side, and then everything is correct. You do this at the very beginning when you just set up your tracker, and you need to set up it just once in the tracker and with our system. And then you can use it like for years for several campaigns. It's not something that it's really hard to do. And again, both trackers and us, we provide help if you need it. We can guide you through the setup, because from our side, we're interested in people having the tracker, not because we get paid by the tracker, which we don't really. But we know that if the client has a tracker, then we will be able to help with optimization, and the odds that he will stay with us for a longer period of time is much higher, because optimization is the key. And if you don't optimize, then, well, you can have a good results at first, but still there could be really challenging to keep up these results without optimization. And what I recommend to do is at your first campaign, you should check the amount of clicks that you see in the tracker and the amount of clicks that you see at our side. And the difference between this should be not more than 5%. If you see that it's more than 5%, then definitely it's not the right tracker that you are using with the sources that we have. And there is a case sometimes, but the majority of the trackers that we recommend, they are clear on that, and there is no such differences, and everything is working correctly.
Yeah. From our side, I can say that, most of the people also, when they have any problems, any discrepancies in the data, like one place shows this amount of conversions, the other places a different amount of conversions, they instantly, of course, blame a tracker. Everything is wrong, the system doesn't work, the servers are down. There are like many ways to say why the tracker is at fault, but most of the times, that's probably my advice, to really listen to the support team, because support team looks through the same cases every day. And if they make an advice of checking domain or checking this kind of connection, they do know what they're talking about, because many of the times marketers don't listen to this advice and they run to complain and to say that nothing works.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But sadly, I think all of our teams on your side and on our side, they're working to make it smooth and make it peaceful and make it all work. But yeah, coming back to the optimization. So the optimization is not possible without a tracker. Let's imagine this perfect situation. The tracker works, everything is perfect, the number of conversions match. Would you walk us through your way of optimizing? How would you recommend to optimize? Maybe what to change, gears, or any of your advice what happens after you received enough conversion data to understand that it's the right time to optimize?
Sure. One thing I want to mention is that several clients, for example, it's a case with the gambling or betting. Some big companies, they don't really want to share the data, so they have their internal trackers. And they don't pass the information to us, some of them, because it's basically falls under the NDA that they have, and they are not really, they can't really share this information. But what they do, they see the whole information on their side, and we still can teach them how to optimize with our platform. So this is still the case. And for example, if you are watching this video and you don't really want to share the information, you can still have the tracker and just don't pass the results to the ad network that you are using. But it's important for you to have it and to set it up correctly, so we from our side can teach you how to optimize. And with optimization, it's really simple. We have several tools that can help you with optimization. What we see that some people that have an experience, they are really well at optimizing their campaigns, and they don't really need help of account manager or any other person. But it's not always the case, and some clients, they can use the help of an account manager, and it can bring them way higher results just because the account manager is know what to look for. And the client who just start working with our platform definitely doesn't really know about these things. That's why we are kind of working towards passing the information to our site so we can really help. When you start the optimization, what you need to look is to look whether or not all of your creatives are working correctly. So some of them will have a high CTR rate, some of them will have a really low CTR. And basically what you can do is to change the creatives with a low CTR to new ones with the idea of the best creos. What I believe is the best thing to do is to start optimization with the sources. So again, when you launch your campaign, you have several sources. That will be like several publishers, several sites. It will be more than 1,000 on that. And what you need to look for is basically the sources that are bringing you more conversions than the others. For example, if your cost of conversion is $10 and you see that some site is bringing you the conversion for the cost of $5, you can just with the help of microbidding, you can bid more on this specific site. So you will have a higher win rate on the site and you will just get more traffic from it. And there will be other sources, for example, that has spent like $30 without any of the conversion, and you definitely need to make a blacklist and put it there. So one of the best things to do is to have a blacklist. The blacklist is basically the place where you can put all the site IDs or publisher IDs of the sources that are not working for you. They don't give you the conversion at all and spend a lot of money, or they give you the conversions, but they are way too expensive for you to handle. And you just understand that even with the lower bid, you wouldn't really make it with this kind of site, so you make a blacklist. There are several strategies. Some of the people, they prefer whitelists, so only putting the sources, only leaving the sources that are working. I don't really believe in whitelists if you have a campaign that you're planning to run for a long period of time. If you have your campaign set only for 3 days, then of course, whitelist is something that will work perfectly for you. But if you want to run it for a year or more than that, then definitely blacklist is for you, because with the whitelist, you're limiting the sources that you have the traffic from. So these sources could, like, I don't know, burn out, or some other client could have more traffic from them and you will be left with nothing. And you limit yourself to the point where you don't receive the new traffic that we have, because you're only looking for these specific sources. With the blacklist, it's way easier to keep your campaign profitable for a longer period of time, because basically you're working with a huge variety of sources. You always receive new sources that we have, but you just block the one that are not suitable for you. They're either too expensive or just don't bring any of the results. And forming all the blacklist, sometimes it's a really hard thing, because you need to look through the statistics, you need to look through thousands of different websites and choose which one is working and which one is not. So that is why we have such thing called automated rules. Basically, automated rule is our internal feature that can help you make the blacklist for you. You just set up the rules. For example, again, this example with $10 conversion is working good for me because it's kind of easy to multiply. So, for example, you have your site that is that needs to bring the conversion at the cost of $10, and you set up 2 rules. So the first rule will be to block all the sources that doesn't bring any of the conversion and spend a lot of money. For example, you're looking for the sites and you're making the rule that if sites spend like $15, you will put it in the blacklist, in the block list or blacklist, depending on how you say it. And then the other rule will be for expensive sites. So for example, if the site has a conversion, but it's higher than $17, then you put it to the blacklist. And with this thing, the system will check your campaign each hour and just create the blacklist for you. If you're doing this automated rules thing, you will basically, the blacklisting will be made for you. You will never need to check any statistics on that. The other thing that you can do is the microbidding. Again, you can set up a rule for that, but what I prefer is to do the microbidding with the help of account manager or just myself. Basically, if you're seeing that you can have more from some profitable site, you can put the microbidding and make the bid for this specific source higher, so you will have more traffic from it, therefore you will have more conversions from it. On the other hand, if you have some good side that bringing you lots of conversions, but the cost of them is a little bit higher than you would expect, you can take a little bit of the bid. So you will have, you will manage this situation with the cost. So this is like two most profitable things that you can do for your campaign, and you need to do them constantly. With the help of automated rules, you can just do the micro bidding once or like twice a week, and that would be enough. And of course, checking your creatives is also an important thing. We also have this thing called like a targeting CPA. This is another our like internal feature that we have, is when your campaigns will be optimized for you without the hands of account managers, but with our internal strategies and analytics. So basically, you set up your campaign. For this one, you definitely need to have a tracker that would be working like perfectly. And you just mentioned the conversion cost that you want. Could be $5, could be $1, whatever you want. And the system will do this all for you. So it will aim for the goal that you have mentioned, and it will create the blacklist, it will create the micro bidding, it will allow some sources or like block some sources depending on the cost that you have mentioned. This is also the thing that we recommend to try if you're not really well, how can you say it? If you prefer to do it all yourself, you can set two campaigns. One will be for this automated way, and the other one will be for the handmade. And then you can just check which way is working better for you. So as I think, with optimization, it always comes to the amount of time that you're ready to spend on it. And some things are easier to be led to the system, because it can be done automatically without your time. And yeah, this is the best things that we can recommend for the optimization.
Do you know how many users actually from RichAds prefer to use a fully automatic way versus the handmade way? I'm just really interested if marketers really trust automation enough to let go of the control completely.
Well, I can say that each of our clients who has a tracker has tried this automated way. Some of them stick to automated way, some of them don't. It's not really, it depending on your campaign. And if you have like a campaign that will be running for a long period of time, then automated way is definitely something that you need to try, because, well, the difference, if you have the campaign that will be run only for a week, that could be not enough, because basically the system needs to learn the information about your campaign. It needs to collect enough information and enough data to make this optimization work. And it's a learning thing. And if you don't have enough time to let the system learn it, then it wouldn't really work for you. So yeah, it works better with the campaigns that are running for a long period of time. But we have like plenty of the clients that are using it on day-to-day basis.
And mostly what I've heard is that you do the optimization mostly around the sources, correct? Or
Yeah.
the automated way also works for like changing geos or changing, I don't know, devices maybe, or you don't recommend to optimize it that much for the push campaigns. It's not that important. Like, is there targeting options in terms of optimization?
If you are using the automated way, then definitely you can't really change the geo, because basically look how it will work. So our algorithm will like learn all the statistics based on one specific geo, and then you change it to another. So all the data that it has, it's not suitable and you need to start again. So this is not the way. Usually when clients come to us, they have like some specific offer and they have a variety of geos that they can target this offer for. We recommend to test all the geos and find the best ones. So when you optimize based on the geo, it means that the geo that you have used before is not working, or you want to scale and test another geo. So this is not really the optimization process, I would say. It's more about like whether or not you know that this vertical is working for you, and maybe like some scaling that you are doing. So this is not like really a part of the optimization. And when it comes to the devices and stuff, it also depends on the offer that you have. Some of the offers, they allow both of the devices. What we recommend to do is to separate desktop from a mobile, because the cost for these two are different. So you can save up a little bit. Mobile is more like expensive, I would say, at some geos than the desktop. So you can save up on this. And when it comes to operational systems, then basically you just use the latest versions of whatever you're choosing, because the majority of people are using the latest version, so there is not much of the traffic on the really old ones. And when it comes to your offer, you usually have some kind of limitations. And we can also advise you depending on what you came with. For example, if you came with antiviruses, they are usually working best for desktop. So we have some kind of understanding of what you need to put at first to receive like highest results. But some offers, we just recommend to test everything, but split it, like separate it for different campaigns. It's not only about the convenience of optimization, because different sources, they work differently for desktop and mobile, but it's also about the savings of these additional costs that you will have, because you need to have your conversions as cheap as it's possible, and this is like the aim.
Okay. Yeah, that is clear to me, because for me it seemed more like optimization consists of, you know, changing geos, changing devices, changing creatives as well, which is probably one of the first things that people try to do when they face the problems. They try to change the creatives. But that was very useful for me to know.
Yeah, sources are like the key with our system. Creatives are, of course, also really important, but it's not really, how can I say it? If you found the creatives that are working for you, then you can just make something like them, and you will continue to have your great results. You will need to change creatives like each 3 days, I would say, add new ones because of the CTR drop. But it also depends on the offers. I've seen campaigns working on the same creatives for ages and they're still performing. This is like really depending on the offer that you have. And I've seen campaigns that change creatives each day, and only by this it's working for them. So it's different strategies for different verticals that you are using.
So probably one of the last things I'm gonna ask is if you have any benchmarks or any kind of special numbers that we could look out for or strive to, like what's the best conversion rates, what's the best niches that are paying the most, anything that you might have from the experience of your clients or the sources that you run with.
Among the benchmarks, I would say I have like some predictions, but they're really like obvious if you're from this market. What we've seen last year, that gambling vertical was growing, and what we see this year, that it's still growing. More and more geos, they have like these legislations that are allowing for gambling to actually work on them. And we've seen that from the beginning of this year, and we predict that till the end of this year, gambling will be still growing. And if you want to try your best in this vertical, then it's definitely the time for you. The only thing that you need to make sure is that the offer you're using is actually a good one, because lots of offers, they don't really have the payment methods, or they have a horrible landing pages or like support system, because gambling consists of all the things are need to be included in order for you to actually earn on it. Also, what we see is that betting, again, is working really great, and we see that it's growing this year. We have like a huge growth on betting this year, I think more than on gambling, but just in general, we have more of the gambling offer. So it's more money for the gambling, but in the percentage, it's more for the betting. And again, if you have been working with antiviruses, then I would say that they are still performing well. And again, I can say that among the sources that we have, we also have an in-page that is working great for this specific vertical, and you can test it. We also launched just recently, we launched a native traffic. So this is something that we are growing on, and you can definitely try it. By the end of this year, we will launch more formats, because we want to expand on the formats that we have. We know that the clients that we are working with work with several formats, and we want to provide the best service by providing all the formats that they are using in one campaigns. Okay, so this is about like our plans for the future, and what else can I say is that artificial intelligence is growing. That's why we're like making the point specifically to make it all automatic when it comes to optimization and stuff. We're also looking for this in creatives, and we just want to implement it as it can save lots of time, it can save lots of money, and you can just make more campaigns, you can make more creatives using the artificial intelligence. So this is something that we're also really working on this year.
I would say probably we're all in the same boat of trying to make everything automatic. We also just released our automation extension. So we pretty much do the same thing as you do on the RichAds side, but we help to do the same thing with Facebook, TikTok, Google, and all other popular ad networks. To help optimize and save time on everything you do, because I think at some point the job of a marketer can become quite crazy with all the statistics, all the conversion rates, and it's just really too much to control. So tools like ours, like automation, optimization, is really not cruel, crucial.
Crucial, yeah.
Yeah, very cruel. Very crucial to make money and to ensure that you will continue making money because there are so many changes that happen month to month in our industry. Something goes wrong, there is another limitation like iOS 17 or something else. And it's very important to automate this.
You need to be able to test several ways, several hypotheses that you have in one day, and you need to be able to save as much time as possible, because again, everything is changing so fast, so we need to become faster. So that is why we're looking for the ways on how we can help with this.
I guess it's worth to mention that RichAds and RedTrack are perfectly compatible.
Yes, perfectly compatible. We're not paying each other for this, so this is just an advice for everyone. We're perfectly compatible, and yeah, we also have like a template at your tracker, so it's easy to set up with us, and everything will be working smooth and great.
Yeah, make sure to check RichAds, to check RedTrack, and just follow all of the advice we give you, follow all the tips, because we're here to make sure that you make the best of your advertising. I think this is it. Thank you so much for this conversation. That was very insightful, and it was such a pleasure to talk to you. I hope we might record or do something together again.
Thank you so much for inviting. It was my pleasure to talk to you, to talk about our project. Again, we're really looking forward to new advertisers at RichAds. So if you're interested in any type of traffic that we have, just text us, register with us, and let's start.
Just check the description and you will find your promo code for RichAds.
Thank you for inviting. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.